The story of Arsenal this season. From euphoria to... Come on, Michael, it's true. Here we go. It's the Highbury Squad post-game show, Benfica v Arsenal, Europa League. Welcome to the Benfica versus Arsenal post-game show. Joining me tonight once again is Super Kevin Campbell.
Bo! Bo!
And one of your favourites, ladies and gentlemen, he's back. That's true. It's Michael Price from You Are My Arsenal. Welcome, Mike.
Hey, Sophie, how are you? Kevin, how are you?
Oh, that was
I'm good,
fine
Mike.
earlier
How are
this
you,
morning.
man? How are you?
Yeah.
I'm doing all right. Yeah, look, I'll give you my instant reaction. It's disappointing because I felt we had the better of the play. But on the road in Europe, not even more on the road than we're normally on the road, and we still get the away goal. I'm okay with that. I missed chances and stuff. So it's back to being depressing Arsenal, but at the same time,
I thought we played okay, Mike.
Yeah. We've had these tactical discussions. I think you still see significant progression that we haven't seen. Even going back to the losses prior to the Leeds win, I just felt that there's still a lot of progression to see, and I saw the same progression today. And it's clear that Arteta liked something about this lineup that he wanted to bring it back again. I didn't think it played as aggressive as it did against Leeds, but I still think he saw something, especially in that attacking four. And for me, Sophie, I think we agree on one thing right out of the bat. Martin Odegaard, man of the match, great player to have. Just sign him now. Give him Ozil's contract. I don't care.
Well, not the 350, but yeah, we'll give him a contract. I mean, he was mustard today. That was, it's so funny, isn't it, you guys, when you have a quality on the pitch that you can see. It's like velvet. It's like silk. And the difference in some of the other players, and then you can see. Thanks, Tony. Thank you very much. I've got my hard wire. I forgot to plug it in. You can see what he brings to the table, and it was definitely a different grade, and we saw that in the Leeds game as well. But let's start at the very beginning. I want to take you guys to the very top because frustrated Gooners, 200 plus already in live chat. Thanks so much for everybody who is joining us this evening. Starting 11, we thought that he rested Pepe against Leeds to start him and maybe rest an ESR, but he didn't. Do you guys think he got it right or wrong? Super Kev, I'm going to start with you, keeping the same team against Leeds, even though we even on our show said, well, he's doing this and that because we've got the Europa League coming up. What are your thoughts on that?
He never got it wrong, did he? Sometimes the team performs that well that you have to keep the same team.
Mm-hmm.
Because
but everyone complained about him not starting.
Yeah, I know, but everyone didn't complain. By the way, everyone didn't complain. People might have said, "Oh, Pepe will probably play in the week," but there wasn't a lot of complaining going on, especially after the result. But just like sometimes you don't change your winning team. He kept the winning team, and if we're honest, the team performed well enough to actually blow this Benfica team away today. Yeah. But the difference was our star guy didn't quite finish him off. That's all.
Yep.
Okay, so Mike, how does our star guy go from scoring a hat-trick against Leeds and in that first half, honestly, Vinny Vieira could have finished that. I mean,
well, look,
explain it.
I still think it's a confidence issue for him. And I don't think just one game and one solid performance like that is ultimately going to fix his 3.5-4 months of poor confidence on the ball. I mean, it's clear that. So, I said this as we were in the green room. I felt the positive from him today was his movement off the ball to get into the positions to put himself into scoring. You saw on the missed chance there, and then that ball over the top that he got onto from Gabriel in the second half was just excellent, typical Aubameyang movement, right? But he's still snatching at the ball. That chance, he has the ball. I looked at it. I was looking at it in replay, and the ball's stuck under his feet. It's stuck underneath him, and he's trying to get it out, and he just kind of snatches at it with his right foot rather than, I think, to me, personally, and Kevin, I'll defer to your expertise here. That's a one-time ball. That ball's coming across like it is, as it was fizzed across. He's got to just one-time that in. I don't care if it goes off of your shin, your toe. They've got everybody beat at that point. Just one-time that ball in. He just seemed to want to get another touch on it for that one. And then even for the one over the top from Gabriele, he looked to be sorting out his feet. So I think he's still trying to find a rhythm from a technical perspective in trying to break whatever rut he's in. And I said, don't be surprised. I remember thinking about last week's game. Don't be surprised if he comes back and has another poor game in terms of shooting, because it's just not going to happen. It's not just going to be one game, right? But I still think he's coming out of it. I think I'm seeing things from him that I didn't see weeks ago in terms of his movement, his support, his dropping back. And maybe part of that is now Arteta putting him in the middle, and he's able to do that pull out wide. I mean, against Leeds, how he terrorized Leeds was simply dropping out wide, getting an opening that space, and then attacking from inside out, and then back in. Right? I'm not that concerned. I would have loved to see the 2 goals that he should have had, right? But at the same time,
I'm going to put it more politely. KC, garbage finishing tonight. Yeah. Absolute garbage finishing that cost us winning by 3 or 4-1.
Yeah, we couldn't finish our dinner tonight, but that's football for you, isn't it? Unfortunately, our star striker is still playing himself back into form, and after a great hat trick against Leeds, you think to yourself, "Oh, he's past it." It doesn't. Unfortunately, Mike's right. It doesn't quite work that way. Could have had another hat trick today. Should have probably had a brace minimum today, a couple of goals. But he was a little bit off today. And, we have to take that sometimes. We can't always, unfortunately, the way we are, expect him to score when really I thought, Saka had a couple of chances, and I'm not criticising anyone. But
he got a goal.
We had opportunities to score, and we didn't take them. He got the goal, obviously equalised after we conceded a penalty. And then we responded, which was good. So there are some good things out of this game. I thought Ceballos had a really good game. I thought Odegaard done really well as well. I thought we aren't in any problems. If we're honest, we weren't in any problems. They got a lucky penalty, which was a penalty because Smith Rowe's arm was up in a bad position. But apart from that, I think game with a draw at 1-1.
You mean like the away game Spurs and United had tonight, where they scored 8 goals between them?
No, I'm not interested. I'm not interested in anybody else. I'm not interested.
I know Benfica are better than Wolfsburg and Real.
But I'm not interested in anybody else. I'm not interested in them. I'm interested in what Arsenal do. And the fact of the matter is, Arsenal couldn't finish their dinner today. That's it.
Okay, so I want to challenge you guys on this, because every single and I'm going to keep pushing on this, because a lot of Arsenal fans, Mike and KC, said that Pepe was rested because of the fact that he was going to start against Benfica, and he did not.
I want to jump.
So what? So what? What the Arsenal fans are saying that?
I want to jump because I don't.
Go on, Mike.
I don't think he was rested because of Benfica. I think the lineup for the Leeds game was a tactical decision by Arteta. He went with 3 players that were occupying space all over the midfield. That first half, the reason why everybody thought Ceballos was so effective driving the ball forward was because the movement of the 3 midfielders in front of him kept opening up all this space. He made a tactical decision. He knew that I suspect he knew that Bielsa would go 1v1 with him in each scenario. It was a man-to-man. He basically played man-to-man, right, on the field, 11v11, man-to-man. So basically, each player's moving, opening up space. Ceballos had space to drive into. Xhaka had space to drive in. How many times did you see Luiz drive into open space? That wasn't because he was resting players for this. He made a tactical decision based on his opponent to change the lineup based on what he was getting, and it worked. It worked, and that's why I think he went with the lineup again today, because the movement of that attacking four, I'll add Aubameyang in that, but specifically Odegaard, Saka, and Smith Rowe.
ESR looked spent today. He looked absolutely spent.
He
so
did.
the argument is like, you know, Casey, we talked about ESR came off in that game against Leeds. Everyone thought that maybe, you know, he shouldn't have even started that. We've put a lot of onus on him and Saka. You keep saying on this show that, you know, we can't put the weight of the Arsenal world on their shoulders. And it felt like today in Europe, it was the perfect start for Pepe to see what he and Odegaard could do together as well. And ESR to me had a poor game. And at the end of the day, we don't take our chances, and you know we can't flip the game. And this is the problem with Arsenal. I posted and I said our biggest Achilles heel is consistency. We cannot string two great performances a la Leeds with another one. We just can't do it. And in this game today, we needed to do it. And I know everyone's saying, oh, we got the away goal and Benfica, and we'll probably win the away leg or the home leg or whatever, but it's never guaranteed. You got to finish your chances.
Well, yeah, I mean, look, you're right. You do have to finish your chances. But I think, and the penalty, the awarded penalty shows that, right? You know, we let them back into that game with a really poorly called penalty. But the great thing about it was, I see somebody saying lacking killer instinct, and I don't.
Well, the speed. Why did we lack the speed we had against Leeds? Same team. Why did we lack the speed, Casey and Mike? Why did we lack the same aggressiveness?
It's a different game. No, it's a different game.
No.
All right. Well, don't ask me then. You're going to ask me, and then you're going to say no. So what's the point in asking me?
Because it's the same team. Why are we lacking the speed?
No, but it's different opposition.
Right. So I agree with Kevin here. Your opposition presents you a different puzzle every time you take the pitch, right? They're going to set up differently. In that game against Leeds played us open. They played us. We knew they were going to attack. We knew they were going to give us space. That game was always going to move like that. In this game, you know, you're looking at Benfica sitting back, letting us come on. And basically that slows the play down. You have to play through a block. Whether that's a midfield block or a low block, you have to play through that. Plus, and I was, you know, and I go back to looking at people's comments that I follow on social media, and I tend to agree. It felt like the pitch. I don't know what, you know. Look, we're talking.
Didn't run quick. It didn't run quick.
It did not run quick. The ball looked slow coming off of people's feet. And I, you know, there was a couple of really nice, and what my measurement for that was Odegaard's passing. He made some really subtle, gentle passes that he was purposely trying to play into people's path, and it almost looked like it died every time. And that's just, for me, that was kind of like the sign that maybe the pitch isn't watered, maybe it's a little muddy and stuff like that. So.
Well, KC, look, I understand that Leeds are more kamikaze. Someone said that in the chat. But, you know, he picked the same team. I want to start that with you, and then we'll go through for the player ratings, which generates conversation for us here on the show. Should he have rested ESR? Should he have played Pepe? Were you both happy with him keeping the team?
Yeah.
All right. Tell me why.
I was, because it was a winning team. I was happy with that. The team that played so well against Leeds, he decided to keep the same team. I had no problem with that whatsoever. And that same team who you say didn't do this, that, the other, should have won this game. We didn't, only because of finishing. It weren't because we didn't create anything like we've had before. We created the opportunities. We just couldn't finish. So I was happy with it. Honestly, I was fine with the team that he picked.
Mike?
Look, I'll agree that I think, first of all, I go back to something, Kevin, me and you talked about the last time I was on. Our youngsters can't be our saviors this season. They are growing, and they're going to come times, and I think we're starting to see it with ESR and maybe even a little bit with Saka, where their legs are going to get heavier, they're going to get tired, they're just not used to this kind of slog. right? So would I have, as a coach, would I have made a change? Yeah, maybe I would have brought in a player to maybe give ESR a rest. Maybe I would have just made that one change just to give him a rest, because I guarantee you ESR is going to play on Sunday. They're going to he's going to play on Sunday, but I would have given him a rest. But at the same time, I agree with Kevin to the point where a coach is always going to go with his hot hand. He just saw this same lineup literally open up leads at will. I mean, they opened up leads that most of that game against Leeds, we could just open up that team whenever we wanted to. So yeah, I get it. You go with the team that's successful.
Mike, hold on, Mike. Can I add to that? Can I just add to that? Sophie?
And then I will add to it.
Yeah, please. Let me just add to that.
People need to be fuming tonight, and they're not. Go on. Polite. Go on.
I think the fact that Aubameyang started is why Pepe never started against Leeds.
Yeah.
Because there's more. I said it on Sunday. There's more players in that midfield who will look to give Aubameyang the ball at every opportunity. So there was a better balance in the lineup for Aubameyang. That's why Aubameyang shines so much against Leeds. Now the fact of the matter is, he's got Aubameyang buzzing. That's probably why he kept the same team. He kept the same team because he wants to get the best out of Aubameyang. Aubameyang should have been walking away with the match ball tonight. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
But it's only because of the finishing why he didn't.
We are so okay. I'm just gonna take the.
No, why?
Okay.
Why? If you're angry, let's see it.
Listen, everyone. Okay, and you tell me in chat. There's 400 plus of you in live chat. This is the Highbury Squad post-game show, Benfica versus Arsenal Europa League. In my opinion, we need to be putting all of our eggs in the Europa League basket, because I've listened to everyone on this show tell me all season it's all about winning trophies. And in the Premier League, we're not going to win a trophy. We're not going to finish in the top 4. We may not even finish in the top 6. Okay. And I've heard all about managing Martinelli, managing players. He plays the same team. I heard after that Leeds game, he's rested Pepe because he wants to play and start him against Benfica. Yet he plays an exhausted.
Who did you hear that from? Who did you hear it from?
I heard it from a lot of Arsenal fans across the board.
But not
even
me.
On
you
this
never
show.
heard it from me. You never heard it from me.
On this show.
You never
right?
heard it from me.
Wait, how many times? Okay, how many times have people on this show said Pepe's a form player? And finally, he finds some form. He has 4 amazing games in a row, and he's been benched for the last 2 games. And you want your most expensive signing in Arsenal's history in a game where we need to get a result and progress in this competition to be on the bench. And you play an exhausted young player like ESR, who everyone says you got to protect them, and you can't put Arsenal's future on the shoulder of Saka and ESR. Come on, you guys.
All right, here's where I'm going to stop. Because first of all, I want to go back to the Wenger years. What was one of the biggest criticisms that people had in the waning years of Arsene Wenger? It was that we weren't tactically matching up against our opponents, right? So what is Arteta starting to do? You see him making tactical changes based on the opponent he's facing, especially like a team like Leeds, right? I don't know. Yes, everybody on social media, he must be resting Pepe. He must be resting these players. That wasn't it.
They don't know. That's just their fault.
Nobody knows. It's an opinion. Look, that was a tactical setup. He played to the opponent that he was playing. And Bielsa basically even said, it's clear that he prepared for us. He said in his post game, it's clear the coach of Arsenal prepared for us, right? And we didn't shut down the midfield like we wanted to. He made those comments. You take that into set, and then you understand why Pepe doesn't start. Because Pepe and Aubameyang cannot play on the same pitch. I'm sorry. You cannot play them together. Why? Because they want to occupy the same space, right? And it just doesn't work. I believe wholeheartedly that you're going to have one or the other playing the field. You can't have both. So going back to that, I don't buy into this. Oh, it's because he's resting. Take a look at the game. And now about tonight, he said that team was effective. I know I'm going up against a 3-5-2 or whatever their lineup is. They're going to be space out there on the outside. I know Aubameyang's going to want to pull out there and open that space, right? So he makes the tactical decision again. But and I'll say this about ESR. Yes, I want him rested because I think that kid is an amazing talent, and I would have made the change for Pepe. But at the same time, I'm also, as a coach myself, I tend to ride the hot hand. I tend to ride the team that I will make a tactical decision, but I'll also say, you know what? This team's not going to offer me that much again, so I'll just keep the team that was so effective and so fluid. And that's I don't find anything fault with I don't find any problem with the lineup switch.
Mike, if we'd have had those chances tonight that we had again, if them chances were against Leeds, you'd expect us to still score 4 goals.
Mm-hmm. Right, absolutely.
You look at Benfica. First half, they were playing so high up the pitch.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why you wanted players who could shift the ball quickly and play through them. And anytime we done that, played through them, that's how we got Bellerin in. That's how we got Saka in a couple of times. That's how we got Aubameyang in. So it's intelligent players using the ball quickly at the top end of the pitch. We didn't play great, but the opposition played differently to how Leeds played. That's all, Sophie.
Then why didn't you prepare for a different opposition with maybe a couple of changes? Isn't that what a manager does?
Well, no, hold on, Sophie. That isn't always... A manager doesn't always have to change it to prepare for the opposition. If he's got intelligent players in his team, they can work it out.
But here's my here's my issue is that as a fan base, we were so excited about Aubameyang getting a hat-trick. That's great, but we get so carried away with it. Our problem is inconsistency. We cannot string 2 or 3 games together under this manager. Why? Why can't we do that? He picked the same team. You guys said I would stick with the hot hand, but yeah, the hot hand can't perform against the Benfica side, who arguably play in a weaker league than the Premier League, supposedly. Okay, and then you're talking about players like ESR and Saka, who everyone says we can't put the weight of the world on their shoulders, but yet he's done that. And you've got Pepe, who's been the hot hand, and he doesn't play him. So it kind of drives me crazy, Sophie, in the sense that...
Sophie, hold on. Can I ask you a question then? You just said before that we've got to put all our eggs in one basket. So when the manager picks the team with those people, with those young players who are quality in the team to get a result, the only reason we never got a result is because of our finishing.
But isn't it funny, Casey, that now everyone thinks Lacazette's a dog? Everyone thinks Lacazette's a dog because Oba scored a hat-trick. Yes, they do.
No, they don't. No, they don't. How do they think that?
Sophie, first of all, you've got to stop. It's not a look. I don't. Social media is great, but the problem is it creates this false narrative. Of what's going on. Look, sensible people like Kev, people like you, understand that Aubameyang scoring a hat trick doesn't suddenly mean that Laka's crap. Now, I personally contend, and Jacinho and Jess Black and I were having this conversation earlier, that in the end, when Arteta finally has the players that he wants, that Lacazette and Aubameyang don't fit the profile of play that he ultimately wants to get to. They're here because he needs that. You're not going to get rid of that. But in the end, I think when all's said and done, the players that he wants up front are more like Martinelli. I think we're going to see more players like Martinelli up front. But that being said, I want to go back, and one other thing I forgot to mention. Let's also forget, we're all getting worked up over an away leg of a 2-legged tie, right? The reason I'm not...
Oh God, we're so accepting mediocrity.
No. Nope. It's not this. I know
Yes,
that
we do.
Nope.
Oh, God.
You may think that, but the reality is for me is I know there's another leg to this tie. I know there's another leg to this
Which we
tie,
may or may not win.
and we have an away goal. So look, I'm not a fan of the away goal rule, but as long as it's there, we did what we had to do. We came away with a goal, right?
So, okay, answer this question then, Mike and Kev, from the Gooners podcast. Why do we always start with what went wrong rather than what went right? Hold on.
We're Gooners.
I mean, they are though. These two are starting with what I'm the one. You know why? Because I expect better. I expect our forwards. I expect Aubameyang to bury that chance in the first half.
No,
stop making excuses, you guys.
Who's making excuses?
Oh, I'm sorry. Who said this? Like, look at this. Stop, Sophie. Come on, please. Can't win every time. I promise we win. Oh, Arsenal Football Club, I'm so sorry we didn't win. We'll win next time. Oh my God, I'm sorry we didn't finish our chances. Let's just pat everyone on the back.
Hold on.
Where's Dwyer's one? Where's Dwyer's one? He put something about Kev. Didn't you see how are you judging? Aubameyang? Yeah, against it. I'm not judging them different. I said the only reason we didn't win tonight was because Aubameyang missed 3 chances. How is that judging chances differently?
Hold on.
What is up with people?
And Kev, let's take this from where I tend to take things from. I'm looking at it as a coach, right? And you've been in that position where the ball's been at your feet and that ball may not have gone into the net. It is. Look, I actually bristle when people say, "Oh, he should have buried that." I would challenge anybody on social media who says, "Oh, he should have buried that," to try and bury a goal with a pro-level defender hanging all over your back. You see if you can bury a goal that way. You know what? The chances are so many variables come into a shot that a striker, a midfielder, a forward has to take that it suddenly it can go wrong in the simplest of things. That fraction of an inch ball that goes around the post, right, can just be because you know what? I didn't get that extra touch out of my feet, or maybe the ball was too low underneath me. It can be a variable, and we all see, oh, it's open, so he should have put it away. You don't look at all the other things that go into a striker or a forward or anybody taking a shot on the ball.
Okay, I get that. G-Funk Mix. By the way, it sounds like you should be busting out a tune for us with that name. I'm high on losing. I'm high on. It felt like we lost. No, but it feels like we never. But we never. I'm telling you, as I'm just giving you my opinion, it felt like a loss because we should have won that game 3-1. Easy. Yeah. Okay. 500 people in live chat. There's got to be someone who agrees with me that we are accepting this mediocrity. We're an inconsistent team.
We're not accepting it, so.
No, but you and Mike sound like you are because you're making excuses.
We're not making excuses.
You kind of are.
No.
We're not making it. Kind of are how? I just said before, the only reason we never won the game is because we missed our chances. What part of that is accepting mediocrity?
Because why are we missing these chances? How does Aubameyang miss that chance?
Sophie.
No, because we've got to take these chances.
But we
yet again relied on Saka, but we should have. That's the point. The point is how do you build a team that can consistently perform game after game and bury their chances?
This is what our problem has been.
But that's the point.
No, but this is what our problem's been all season.
Look,
this has been our problem, not this season. It's been our problem for years. Being consistent and being competitive over and over again.
So can I ask you a question then? Sorry, Mike. Can I just ask you a question then, Sophie? What makes you think it's just going to change overnight then?
Right.
Excuse me. He's been in charge since last December. This isn't an overnight thing.
That's not the question. The question is, what makes you think it's just going to change overnight then?
How about this, Mike? And Mike, I'll hand over to you. 500 plus strong in chat right now. Thank you and welcome. I feel like we lost tonight.
Now,
I'm just being honest. That's my opinion, okay? I'm not killing that. I'm not Arteta out. All I'm saying is, why can't we be consistent? Why can't we take the Leeds game and move to this game? He kept the same team. Clearly, there was a message in training. Why is it we then go into this game and then we don't bury our chances and we end up drawing against Benfica? Why?
Why? Because we don't take our chances.
We didn't bury our chances. That's
it's
why
that simple.
That's why this game wasn't 3-4, 3-1, 4-1. That it simply didn't bury the chances. But here's what I'll say, and we talked about this the last time I was here. You're talking about a fundamental. You go back. You said, "Hey, we've been doing this for years." Well, that's a cultural shift that has to happen. And while we have seen a lot of players go out, especially this past January, what we haven't seen is a lot of the players that Arteta wants come in. That is still. This summer is going to be huge. Now, I'll give you this. If we're still kind of doing this kind of back and forth, 1 foot forward, 2 feet back, then yeah, we can have a conversation about whether Arteta's really been successful. But until this summer, when we see what comes in after what's gone out, then I still think you're still going to see that kind of back and forth starting. Look, but there is...
Mike, this is how we lost to Olympiacos last season. We didn't take our chances. We got home at the Emirates and we couldn't bury Olympiacos. Why do people continue to accept mediocrity? This is exactly why we got dumped out of the Europa League last season by a Greek team in the Greek league.
Here's why you...
So what? Listen, it happened.
So what?
It happened. It happened to us. There's nothing we could do about that. You're talking about the past. This happened tonight. We didn't take our chances. That is all. You cannot say we played badly because we didn't. You cannot say we didn't create chances because we did. And the only reason why we didn't win is because we didn't take our chances.
We just make excuses for this team over and over again. It is.
What excuse?
What excuse?
What is the excuse other than we didn't take our chances?
Because we need to take out United, Spurs, and all the other teams in Europe tonight took their chances. They buried their teams.
But we didn't.
But we should. That's the point.
No, I know that. You think we don't know? You think we don't know that? But the fact of the matter is we didn't.
But this is what cost us in the end, Mike. Like, this is what cost us losing to Olympiacos when we got to London. I was there in that game. And then before you knew it, the sucker punch, the away goal, and boom, we're out. Done.
Hey, look, first of all, that's the nature of sport. You win a game, you lose a game. But at the same time, but here's the thing. I don't accept mediocrity. I accept the fact that the change that has to happen to Arsenal is going to have to take more than from last December to now. Everything has to substantially change about this club. It's a process. It's not going to just happen just because, hey, we got rid of Kolasinac, we got rid of Mustafi, we got rid of Mesut Ozil. That's not going to suddenly change everything. What I see, and here's where I see the change and where I see the positives and why I'm not getting upset, because I understand this is going to take time. But I start to see players that are starting to accept the way that Arteta wants to play. You start to see the movement, the fundamentally playing off of each other, using each other, playing 1-2 pass combinations, movement off of the ball, a midfielder occupying the midfield space, right? Those little things I'm starting to see. And then you're also seeing the players that seem to support each other, to play for each other. Things that are, little things that weren't there, especially under Emery. I'll be honest with you. I never thought under Emery we looked like a cohesive team at all. And now we start to see it. You still have to accept, you have to come into this idea of this change, what we're talking about. And I agree, Sophie, these are things that happened years ago, that started to happen years ago. That change isn't going to just go away with a few
outcomes. Why are people blaming Xhaka tonight? Why is it Xhaka's fault we've lost? What is that about?
Because we didn't lose.
Again, we go back to the idea of social media picking a player that they have to have as a scapegoat. Xhaka has been fine. There's been nothing wrong with his play. I will say with Xhaka, he looks a lot more confident in his play when he's alongside Thomas Partey, right? There's a dynamic that changes in his game, and I think it's probably the support that he gets from Partey. He knows that if he takes space forward, he's going to get that help, right?
All right. Okay. So let's get to we're 35 minutes in. You're listening to the Highbury squad. It's Benfica versus Arsenal. I personally feel like we lost tonight, even though we drew. And maybe we'll go through, but I'm having, flashbacks of Olympiacos, as I said. I think that we need to string more consistent performances together. I think we need to stop making excuses. I think, he kept the same team that dominated Leeds, but against Benfica, apparently, tactically things are different. Okay, fine. But we didn't put in the performance and we didn't finish our chances. Aubameyang can't string 2 games together this season. This is a problem. So let's start with the goalkeeper ratings. Let's go to ratings and then we can talk about performance as well, you guys. KC.
I thought what Leno had to do, he done pretty well. He didn't really put a foot wrong. So I'll give him a 7.
Yeah,
It was fine.
I'm kind of there too. He didn't really see much. I mean, he made that really nice extended save. He did get the right. He I don't want to say my son will kill me. The goalkeeper, my son will tell me that goalkeepers never guess. So he read the PK right. He just didn't get down quick enough. But overall, I think, frankly, he's one of my players of the season. So I'll give him a 7.
Yeah. And also complex theory. I'm not talking about challenging for titles. I'm talking about consistency. Mm-hmm. String a few games and performances together. Is that so difficult to ask for? Everyone lauds the performance against Leeds. We get so excited about Aubameyang's hat-trick. And all I'm saying is, why can't we do that again? And that's the issue. And Leno didn't have too much to do tonight. And that is a testament to how the team played at the back. But at the same time, I'll give him a 7. KC, Bellerin. Can't cross a ball. Can't find a cross with a map and a compass. He gave one good cross to Aubameyang, and Aubameyang missed it.
Mm-hmm. That's right. I'll give Bellerin. I thought he was okay, but wasn't really great. We didn't really get tested that much, but he gave the ball away quite a bit. So I'm going to give him a 5. So Bellerin a 5.
Mike.
I'm down on Bellerin. As a matter of fact, the sub I would have made tonight was I would have actually put Tierney on and swapped Cedric over to the other side and taken Bellerin off. I felt that right-hand side was open for us to take advantage of, and there were a couple times where Bellerin just could not. He just wasn't. And I mean, early early in the game, he was getting behind on some underlaps. How Arteta's got him playing is that playing in that tucked-in role, and he's coming in on the underlaps. There were a couple times his speed's just not there anymore. Post ACL, he just hasn't had the speed. Mm-hmm. And I tend to think he's got a good touch, but he also tends, for me, I don't know about other people, but I feel he loses the ball too easily. I sometimes feel he loses the ball too easily. So I'm going to give him a 4.
Yeah, for me, he had one good cross, the one that Aubameyang should have finished. He didn't. And unfortunately, once again, Bellerin shows that once he has the ball at his feet and he has to cross the ball and create chances, that he just can't. And Arsenal need to find a right back in the summer. And until they do that, it's going to be poor. And the fact that he continues to pick him, this is why I wasn't in favour of Maitland-Niles leave. I know Maitland-Niles has been awful at West Brom, but West Brom are an awful team. Let's be fair to Maitland-Niles. In Project Restart, he was a very good player for us and a hybrid player who was able to come in and fix, certain spots where we had deficiencies or injuries. And for me, I'd rather Bellerin on the right and actually, Maitland-Niles on the right, and actually Maitland-Niles, when he played with Pepe on the right, they had a really good partnership. So he's just poor, and he's the first banker I would sell. I'd sell him before Lacazette in the summer. For me, Bellerin gets a 3. Okay, let's go to Luis.
Luis, I thought he done really well tonight. I didn't think he put a foot wrong. I thought him and Gabriel were very solid. Didn't look in any trouble whatsoever. Keeper had one save to make. So I thought he'd done his job. I'll give Luis a 7 as well. I thought he was fine.
Mike?
I'm going to...
oh, no. Are you okay? You've got...
Yeah,
okay.
I've got it. I'll wrap up on this.
Okay. I hate getting messages like that.
Anyway, let me wrap up on this. Luis, actually, I'm fine with. I gave him a 6. I felt he played it. I think there was a couple times he played a couple. Where Gabriel, there was one moment where I saw Gabriel play the outside defender, and Luis was in a perfect position to cover the runner. And I just think this is one of the things that I like about that I've seen about Arsenal that I've liked under Arteta is that the defensive play looks like defensive play again, right? Defenders making the supporting runs that they need to make to cover the guys in the box. So, all right. And with that, unfortunately, Sophie,
Sorry, Mike. I hope everything's okay. You let me know, okay, mate? You go on. Okay.
Yep.
Take care, man.
Yep.
Take care.
Okay. Bye-bye. Hey, you guys. Sorry, Mike got a message saying he had an urgent family emergency. So let's hope everything's okay on his end.
Fingers crossed, yeah.
Fingers crossed, okay? Please. So Mike's a good friend of the show and he's a good guy. So sending him lots of love.
What do you give Luis, Soph?
I mean, I thought he was a boss today. You know, I think there's certain players in our team, Casey, that we want to make the scapegoat, right? Louise is one, Xhaka's another. There's a few. There's been Pepe in the past, and I thought he did a good job. I'll give him a 7 today. I think he did a decent job, and when he was asked to kind of step in, I think he did a good job. What about Gabriel today? I mean, again, I don't think there's much they did wrong, did they?
Yeah, I thought that partnership worked well. I thought any forward actions that Benfica tried to produce was quelled. They tried to run him, then you're not going to run Gabriel, etc. So I'd give him a 7 as well. I thought the 2 centre backs were solid.
Yeah, cool. What about Soares today, Cedric?
I'll give Cedric a 6. I thought he was okay on the left-hand side. I think it was more they cancelled each other out on the left-hand side. I thought there was more impetus when obviously Tierney came on because he's more natural that side. But I thought Cedric was okay. I'll give him a 6.
Yeah, I'll give him a 6 as well. Again, I think someone just wrote this. He was a little sloppy at times, sometimes with his distribution, but overall, I don't think we can argue. There weren't too many mistakes at the back today, which is one of the positives of the performance, right, Casey?
Yeah, that's right.
So
that's right.
And I think being a team that has had those issues a lot, I think we could take good stock from that. Okay, let's move on to Dani Ceballos, who, you know, has...
I thought he was brilliant today. I've got to say, I thought he was... honestly, I thought he was man of the match. I did. Mm-hmm. I thought he was man of the match, followed by Odegaard. I thought Dani Ceballos was good. I'd give Dani Ceballos a 9 today. I thought he was on the ball a lot. Ooh. He kept us moving. He won a lot of balls back from the Benfica midfield as well. So, you know, he got the ball back and got us playing. So I'm going to give him a 9. I know he blows hot and cold at times.
He does.
But for the second game, I thought against Leeds he was good. I thought he was good again today. So I'm going to give him a 9 today.
Also, there's something about him, you know, there's certain players that rise to the occasion playing in Europe. And I feel like Danny's one of those. You know, there's the lights, the nighttime, the fact that you're playing for a European trophy. And I think he rises to the occasion. And I think
so it's not the hustle and bustle all the time of the Premier League. Yes. So it's a bit slower.
Yes. You have more time on the ball.
Yeah.
Brilliant point, actually. Yeah, absolutely great. Okay, so there's been quite a few people criticizing Xhaka in the chat. Good evening.
What do you give Ceballos, my dear?
I give Ceballos an 8 tonight. I thought he retained the ball well. And also what I like about Ceballos when he's on the kind of form he was on tonight, just when you think he's lost the ball, he retains the ball.
Retains it, yeah.
And that's a very special trait that not a lot of players have, especially a lot of Arsenal midfielders. And he's always looking for an outlet. And when he doesn't see it, he holds it, but he holds it well. Sometimes he spins around like a lunatic, and I think, what are you doing? You know, you're just holding onto the ball too long. But mostly he does that, and he distributes it at a point where he doesn't lose it, Kev. And I think that's really key, you know. So I'll give him an 8. And I think we'll move on to Xhaka. And there are a few people in chat, and I've seen them on Twitter saying like Xhaka was a dog, and we're going back to blaming
It
Xhaka
wasn't,
and
not
making
for me
Xhaka the
anyway.
dog.
Not for me.
What do you tell everyone why,
Listen,
Kev?
Listen, he made some mistakes at times, and Xhaka. I think when Xhaka plays a different role with Ceballos, this is what people have to understand.
Exactly.
He plays a different role. When he plays with Partey, Xhaka is the one who is the more aggressive passer forward. That's what I'm seeing. Whereas when he plays with Ceballos, he is kind of the holding one, and Ceballos is the one who's always on the ball looking to probe and push the team. So Xhaka is doing whatever is asked of him just to keep the ball ticking over. He played some bad passes. He wasn't great, but I don't think he was terrible as people are making out. I give Xhaka a 6.
I agree. And in a night where we didn't take our chances, and, you have to understand certain players play better when someone empowers them and their game around them. And Thomas Partey and Xhaka, you've seen it, guys. Let's not be delusional. It's a totally different setup. It's a totally different vibe when he plays. And correct me if I'm wrong, Casey, there was definitely one moment he had an incredible tackle in the final third that saved us. And I think he had a couple of occasions like that. So, in a time where in our final third, our forwards weren't taking the chances, I don't think we can point the finger at Xhaka and say that we didn't win tonight or we played poorly tonight because it was because of him. I think that would be really, really unfair.
Yeah. I didn't think we played poorly. I just thought we didn't take our chances, which I understand is why you're frustrated.
I'm very frustrated.
Of course, listen, Sophie, I understand. I understand why people are frustrated. I ain't making no excuses. The fact of the matter is we didn't take our chances. If we'd taken one of our chances, we would have won the game because Benfica weren't great tonight. But we made them not be great.
Yeah, but I also think this is another glaring example that when our world-class players are not fit and they don't play, that we have issues. And that's the problem. Certain teams, whether in the Premier League or Europe, a player comes out, Casey, whether they're injured or whether whatever it is.
Whether it's a change.
It's like for like, right? City are the best at that. They're able to kind of like, you take one out. It's like cloning. You take
mix
one
and
out.
Match. They could mix and match anybody.
And this is the problem in that when you lose a Thomas Partey, then a Xhaka becomes his old self again. When he's alongside a Ceballos. Now, Ceballos may shine and have a good game, but does that complement the other midfielder and how we integrate that play when protecting the back four and also trying to move the ball forward, whether it's to the flanks or the middle line? And I think that's the issue that we have, Kev. And we talk about that all the time, right?
And the problem is as well, Sophie, let me just make this point as well. The problem is Xhaka isn't Partey.
No.
Xhaka isn't Partey. When he plays in that holding role, he is not Partey. So you tend to find Xhaka plays sideways and back, as opposed to like Partey. When Partey gets it, he can maneuver it and he can play it forward. He can play it into Smith Rowe. He can play it into Odegaard. He can play it into Saka. He can play it into Aubameyang's feet.
And he can be box to box.
Xhaka isn't that player, unfortunately.
Yeah. Gigi Gunas, a great question. Who are our world-class players? Well, I would argue that Partey can and will and is
Partey's
world-class.
Without a shadow
He's
of a doubt.
made a difference to our team.
When he plays, we are a better team.
Yeah.
Full stop.
There are players growing into world-class players. I'm not saying Saka's world-class yet. I'm not saying that Tierney's world-class yet. Aubameyang, look at his record.
Listen, we got players who, over time, can be world-class.
Yeah.
I think Gabriel can be world-class.
Yeah, and if you look at Aubameyang's record, he's in the league when it comes to goals scored 200+ since 2009. He's up there with Messi, Ronaldo,
striker.
Lewandowski, Zlatan, whatever you want to say.
Like it. He's a world-class striker. He's just going through a tough time.
Exactly.
But that's the frustrating part, Sophie. Sophie,
this is why I'm giving him a hard time tonight, because I expect more.
Sophie, I get it. I've never once said Aubameyang, it's okay that he missed the chances. I said the reason why we didn't win was because he fluffed his lines. we also missed other chances, but his ones, he should have been leaving with the match ball. Let's be honest.
Should have.
He should have.
He's got to be kicking himself tonight, Casey.
So who's next? Odegaard,
All right.
is it?
Let's go to. You want to go to Odegaard? Yeah, let's do him.
Or Smith Rowe.
I was going to go Saka, Smith, then Odegaard. So let's do Saka first.
Let's do Saka. I thought Saka was okay today. I didn't
Wasn't
think
his
he had a
best
great game. No,
Yeah.
I didn't think he done great today. Although, listen, he persevered and got the goal. I thought Saka was a 7 today. Maybe 6.5. Maybe 6.5. So
he got the goal.
He got the goal, which, listen, I'll give him a 7 because he got the goal. He persevered. But we've seen Saka produce more, but I'm not putting any pressure on this young man because he's carried us for such a long time.
And I'm not going to kill him either because he's saved us so many times.
Yeah,
so I'm giving
him a 7.
Me too. I'm going to give him a Saka. ESR. He's the player I thought should have been rested. I think he should have been. And I saw the fatigue. I know a lot of Arsenal fans saw the fatigue. What do you think, Casey, about my argument about Pepe starting versus maybe ESR or...
Listen, again, I just think the manager went with the same team because Aubameyang had such a good game on Sunday, and he's probably watched the video and saw the combinations and thought, you know what? I've watched. What happens is I've watched Benfica, and the way we play, we can play through them and we could spring Aubameyang through them.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go with the same team. He's probably tried it in training and thought, yeah, these boys are looking sharp. But on the day, Smith Rowe looked leggy. He looked a bit leggy. But do you know what, Sophie? Here's the truth. If Aubameyang scores that first goal, we probably
the floodgates
win the game.
Open, maybe.
We probably go 2-0 up or whatever, and Smith Rowe can come off after 60 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
But because we're down and then we get back into the game and stuff, probably that's why he keeps them on. So I thought Smith Rowe was a bit leggy tonight. I'll give him a 6 tonight.
Do you think tactically he was played differently to Leeds in the sense that he was not much? He wasn't going down through the middle as much tonight. I mean, there's been
I think the way Leeds play, Leeds allow you the gaps because they ask you so much at the other end. Leeds want to smother you at the other end. But whenever you beat the press, which is what was happening, because we were playing through them, as soon as we beat the press, there was times where there's 4 or 5 Arsenal players traveling with the ball towards their defense, and they were undermanned. That's the way Leeds play.
Yeah.
Today, Benfica were smart. They were making sure, listen, we might have a high line, but we've got people in there to protect us as best we can. So we had to play through them or over the top.
It didn't seem like he had the same open spaces as he did against Leeds, and that versatility to be able to shift as much as well. Yeah, for sure, Kev. I agree. The new boy, I thought he was fantastic. I thought you could see his quality above and beyond so many of the players tonight. I thought he played an elite game of football, and you guys may think I'm going over the top, but when you see a player who touches the ball the way he does, controls the ball the way he does the small things, especially in this game tonight, Casey, what did you think about Odegaard?
He is smooth. Some of the passes he played, honestly, people don't understand how hard he gets the weight of the pass right. You know, he played some balls inside defenders for the run. I mean, there was one that nearly came off in the first half. I don't know if you remember it, where he's got the ball and they're in the box. And if Saka was on the same wavelength, because he played the ball inside the defender and he wanted Saka to really hit the jets and run towards goal. And it just got cut out at the last minute. If Saka was on the ball, he would have gone through and it was like 1v1 with the keeper. I saw it and I was just like, wow. And don't forget, Sophie, this is only his second game in 3 months. The kid has got ability. He's got passing range. He can find runners. He's very smart. He's a clever footballer. I'll give him an 8.5. I thought it was just below Ceballos tonight.
So people think I'm going over the top because, look, you guys, when I say we're poor and we didn't finish, you want to kill me. But then when I credit a player for playing the way he did, you're saying I'm going over the top. So I'm going to smack my head against the wall because I already have a headache. Okay. All right.
Well, don't get the samurai out. Just leave the samurai alone. I'm not going to get the samurai
sword out.
Leave the samurai.
The truth is that he was, you know, what fans don't see sometimes is the little things players do. And what he's been able to do. And the reason why we had so many chances, by the way, that we didn't finish is because a lot of it started with his interplay, right, Kev?
Yeah,
the touches of the ball, the smart play, right?
Smart play. Just a little change of direction here, a little subtle pass, a little blindside pass, which you think is nothing, but it puts the defense in a deficit because all of a sudden they have to adjust. And when they adjust, that creates a gap. So he's a very clever footballer.
And I think maybe as well, Kev, because we haven't had that and we've missed that so much from Ozil. You know, the silky touch, the beautiful play that we loved and fell in love with Ozil about, and that we haven't had that all season. I think that when you see a player like that, maybe you wax lyrical about him a little more. But the fact is that for me right now, he starts. He has to be in the team for all the reasons that we've said. Yeah.
He's a class. How much do you give himself?
I'm going to give him an 8. I think, like, for his second game and the fact that he's just integrating into the team, you can't fault that. You know, I think what I like about him, Kev, is that he's brave. He's not afraid to get on the ball.
He's not afraid to make a mistake.
Right.
I'll tell you that. He's not afraid to try a pass and make a mistake because they are the ones who make the difference. He's a difference maker. Yeah.
And you've seen him at Real. Look at Real Sociedad tonight without him.
They were awful. They were awful. They were awful. Yeah, they miss him.
Don't hurt yourself. I love it. Okay, let's go to.
There's one left.
Aubameyang.
Oh boy. Aubameyang. Well, listen. He cost us the win today from not finishing his dinner. And I know it's a striker's lot. I've been there myself. It is a striker's lot when you don't finish. So I'm going to give Aubameyang a 4 tonight because, you know, it was all on him. He'd scored a hat-trick at the weekend. He should have been supercharged, but he just couldn't finish. And I'll give him a 4.
Kev, can you help me get into, and by the way, good evening, everyone. You're listening to the Highbury Squad. It's the post-game show, Benfica versus Arsenal, Europa League. 500 plus crowd in the room. Hit that like button if you dig us. If you don't, that's fine. If you agree with Super Kev saying that we just missed our chances tonight, agree with me whether or not you agree on consistency and being able to string 2 or 3 passes together. And 2 or 3 wins together, consistency, playing week in, week out, our mental strength. Like, this is where the Arsenal are still lacking. You let us know and you hit us up with your opinions and your thoughts. Casey, take me into the game as a striker. You score a hat-trick. The next game, blank. You draw a blank. How did he miss that first half?
It's a striker's, Sophie, I'm telling you now, it's a striker's lot sometimes. Because you know what? Games are different. You expect Oba to bury one of them, Sophie. I expect Oba to bury one of those chances. He buries one of those chances. So we come away with a 2-1 win, and we're virtually there. Let's be honest. But he couldn't finish his dinner tonight. It was crazy.
What was it? Did he take his eye off the ball on that chance with that cross from Bellerin? Where actually Bellerin put in a decent cross and he missed it.
Sophie, I could tell you this much. Aubameyang was expecting the net to bulge. I'm telling you. As a striker, he came onto it thinking the net's going to bulge. He's put it wide. And I bet you he cannot believe he's missed those 3 chances, Sophie. I'll be amazed to find out what he says after, because you know, sometimes, Sophie, you do it in training all the time. You finish, and sometimes it comes to a game and you just snatch. He was just snatching at the chances. I don't know why. I don't know. I can't put my finger on it. Or even though I've been there, I expect, especially after the hat-trick, I expect him to take at least one of those chances, Sophie.
I know. It's so shocking that he didn't. especially after the love he got. This is why, Kev, this is why I don't
It's a
like
frustration. That's why it's frustrating.
this is why I don't
know.
like players after you've been dog all season. You start posting all these images to Twitter and Facebook and Instagram that you scored a hat trick.
Yeah. Be humble.
You know what? And Lacazette, who has saved him, right, because he's been dog shite all season, is now on the bench. And Arsenal fans want to start talking about Laka being so poor now all of a sudden, and Oba's the king. This is the juxtaposition of the Arsenal fans sometimes that just drives me crazy.
I'll be honest with you, I haven't seen it, but obviously you read all the messages and stuff.
Yeah.
How is Lacazette been poor? He's been the one. Remember,
Saving us.
Aubameyang wasn't even in the team. Lacazette was the one who strung it together with Martinelli, which was good to see him come on the pitch tonight. So,
it was good to see him come on.
Smith Rowe and Saka against Chelsea. Who was the catalyst? Lacazette.
Do you think he should have made the subs earlier, Kev, in this game? Like to snatch another away goal? Would you have kind of bought on Martinelli earlier, maybe made those
you
on
could say
Pepe earlier?
Well, you could say that, Sophie. But when you consider the opportunities we had, obviously we created some chances tonight, and we just didn't take them. Which is, he's probably thinking the boys are going to score, the boys are going to score, the boys are going to score. When it kind of, I think when Aubameyang missed that last one, that's when he made the change, didn't he? He probably knew that Aubameyang. Now it's not happening for Aubameyang tonight. I'm going to make a double change, and he did. So you could always say, yeah, maybe he could have made it, but Aubameyang had that chance, and if he buries it, then you say he's made the right decision. But unfortunately, Aubameyang, he couldn't finish his dinner tonight, though.
Yeah, and the whole tattoo thing, I mean, whatever. Come on, everyone. I mean, you know, I'm not going to go into that. It's not because he got a tattoo and he got in trouble for getting a tattoo. Let's just leave it at that, shall we? You guys want to have a go?
It ain't the tattoo. No, it's not the tattoo.
Everyone's tired. It's been a long week. I'm just saying. Can we rate the subs? Did they have enough time to have an impact? The Pepes and the Martinellis of the world. Is it fair?
Really? They were tidy. You'll have to give them average. You'll have to give them fives. Whoever came on, if you're going to give them anything, because Pepe done a couple of things. Kieran Tierney done okay, so I'll give him a 6.
Oh, it's just good to see him on the pitch, wasn't it?
Yeah, great to see him on the pitch. I know he had a cross what he put behind, but he's a little bit rusty. You know, he's just coming back. He's a little bit rusty, but he does give us so much more going forward. And that's poor, Darren. Come on, a 4. Come on now, you weren't that bad. Jeez.
I think I've put everyone in my mood. Listen, you guys, I know, like, I'm mostly upbeat and smiley and whatever, but it's just games like this that just.
Yeah, we should have won the game. Yeah, we should have won the game.
After that performance against Leeds, all I'm saying is, man, consistency, put in a performance. We should have won that game. We should have taken our chances. We should have had it dead and buried by halftime. And we haven't been able to do that yet. And my biggest issue, and Kev will tell you on this show, is I keep saying one of Arsenal's biggest Achilles heel is mental impotence. We just don't have it yet. And still the remnants of, the Ozils have gone, the Kolasinac have gone, the Mustafis have gone, Socrates has gone. Socrates had a good game tonight, 4-2 against PSV Eindhoven. I'm just saying, I'm being facetious a little bit on that front, but I'm just saying, like, that mental strength and that consistency to go game after game after game, we still don't have it. And that's maybe because we don't have the players yet in order to be able to achieve that, Kev, because we're still lacking. But at the same time, we lured the same team against Leeds. We can criticise them against Benfica.
Sophie, don't forget, winning, like losing, is a habit. It's a habit. And when you can win consistently, that means that you are doing the right habits. You have the right habits. And there is no team that doesn't have the right culture and habits who wins consistently. No team. To win consistent, you have the right habits. That's why when you see Manchester City, they can mix and match the different pieces. I mean, look at them. They're doing it without Aguero and De Bruyne. And next minute, they come back yesterday. You know what I mean?
Apparently,
It's like,
De Bruyne is available against us on
yeah,
Sunday.
you know, it's unbelievable. But that's the type of squad they have amassed. They've put a squad together that are serious, Sophie. They're a serious squad. And you could mix and match anybody, and they will give any team in the world a game.
Yeah. We're not going to talk about Willian, are we, Casey? Because it's not worth it.
No, it was on, 2 minutes or whatever. Him and El Nene. Yeah. Leave him alone tonight.
We're not going to use the W word, everybody.
Yeah,
we're not going to do that tonight. All right. Well, look, I have a question for everyone. So, listen, for me, it was very disappointing. Even for you, Kev, you know, we didn't take our chances.
Yeah, listen, I'm not down. I'm disappointed we didn't take our chances, 100%. So anybody who thinks that I never watched the game, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. The fact of the matter is, when you don't take your chances, and we've seen it happen many times this season, Sophie, when we don't take our chances, you leave yourself open to the opposition to come back. And they took the lead. We responded with a goal, which is great, but we just couldn't get our noses in front, which is hard to take.
Okay, as you guys know, this show is sponsored by footballprizes.co.uk. There's a very special auction tomorrow night at footballprizes.co.uk. You can go and get your ticket. It's to win this fabulous Dennis Bergkamp framed shirt. We're about to give away a free ticket, but you have to email us at thehighburysquad@gmail.com. That's thehighburysquad@gmail.com to put your hat in the ring. You'll get a number and you'll go into the auction, which is happening at 7:30 tomorrow night. So there's 1 day left to win this fabulous DB10 shirt. Who wouldn't want that hanging on their wall, Casey? I'm going to ask them.
Top prize. That is a top prize.
How many goals? Okay, so on November 6th, 1991, Arsenal played Benfica. Super Kev was on the cover of the programme for the home leg. But did Kev score a goal in those two legs? And if so, how many goals did he score? We played Benfica on November 6th in 1991. Super Kev was on the cover of the programme in the home leg. But did Casey score a goal over those two legs? And if so, how many goals did he score? You send your answers to us right now on thehighburysquad@gmail.com. And the first person that we receive...
I'm sending
No,
it
you
now.
can't win it.
Oh,
We'll get you
come on.
No. You're not allowed. You're not allowed to enter.
Oh, come on.
And if the first person's answer that we get, you can't answer it in chat. No. You got to send us an email. The first person that emails us gets their hat in the ring at footballprizes.co.uk, and you'll get your number. And I'll email it to you and DM you tomorrow. You may have to buy a ticket. I might buy a ticket as well.
I'm going to buy a ticket. Sorry, I'm buying a ticket.
Casey, we had a 600 plus crowd at one point in live chat tonight. Arsenal fans very passionate. Everyone wants to win Europa League. We want this so bad, especially when you see the other clubs in Europe do well tonight. I know Leicester drew, but there were some emphatic results really from some of the other teams. We desperately want this, don't we? I mean, we do.
We do. Because you know what, Sophie, realistically, people know that this is our best chance. Although it's a tough one, it's the best chance of getting back into the Champions League. We all want Champions League football. Arsenal as a club are a Champions League club, but haven't been acting like a Champions League club. We're that big a club, so you know we're going to get frustrated when things don't go our way. I get that.
We are. But look, it's been another great show. Thanks to Super Kev for joining. It's not the result that we wanted. I guess.
Hope Mike's okay. Hope Mike and his family are okay.
I was about to say that, Kev. We'll check in on Mike and we'll let everyone know that everything's okay. Thank you so much to Mike for joining us. And like Kev said, we hope everything is okay on his end. Listen,
Sophie,
you guys.
Can I just say something?
Yes.
I think I want to say thank you to all of our fan base on Twitter and social media who copied and pasted the thing I put on Twitter
let everyone know about
mental health.
Yes.
About mental health, because it was a friend. It's a friend of mine who has lost a family member, And, sometimes people don't talk. People don't talk, and people are left to their own devices. And this time, it's been brutal. It's been a brutal time for everybody. And we know some deal with it better than others. And I just wanted to support him by putting that out. And the response has been absolutely brilliant, Sophie. It has been really good. So I just want to thank everybody who's done it, or everybody who's liked it, or whatever. And anybody who's suffering, I hope we help you with it, by joining us. I know we think the world of you guys, and sometimes we don't see eye to eye, but that's what gets you going. Sometimes I know that's what gets the fan base going. So listen, it's been an absolute pleasure putting on these lockdown series shows for you, and I just hope everybody's okay. And if you're not, let us know, and we see what we can do to try and help you.
That's brilliant, Casey. Well put, and, you guys help us as much as we help you. And, check out Kev's Twitter. And if you haven't retweeted it, please do. You never know what's going on in people's worlds. And brilliantly put, Kev. We're going to be back tomorrow as well. Thank you again for joining us. We couldn't do this show without you. There is no show without you. We have
brilliant. Yeah.
Great listeners with smart questions and comments. We love our live chat. You guys are absolutely
some
phenomenal.
of them are cheeky as well. Some of them are cheeky as well.
Even to the legend. I mean, come on,
they're cheeky. Didn't I watch the game? They're cheeky, man.
Oh, man. Well, look, we're here for you. And if you're ever going through a hard time, just reach out to us. You can always reach myself and Kev and PG. Our email, you can DM us anytime. We're always here to help however we can. We're going to be back tomorrow night with another great guest. We have Alison Bender on the show tomorrow night. Alison does some great coverage of games from the sidelines for all of the networks in the UK. She was also on the receiving end of a very, very rude, irate Jose Mourinho when she asked about Gareth Bale and him being on the bench. And so we're going to talk to her about that as well tomorrow. And we're excited to have Alison on the show. And until then, Super Kev, listen, thank you so much. Thanks for everything that you do. We can agree and disagree, but at the end of the day, we all love the Gunners. And that is all that matters.
Everyone, we saw Sophie angry and hot earlier on, didn't we?
I've calmed down now, haven't I?
She's calmed down now, but she was angry and hot. And I know some of you are angry and hot too. But you know what? We all love the Arsenal. Come on, you Gunners!